think I can do. Oh, it's already recording. Okay, welcome. I want to introduce you guys to Georgina, who's a naturopath and a holistic sleep consultant. And being a holistic nutritionist myself, I'm a very big fan of holistic approaches to anything. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to get Georgina on. So I want her to tell you about, she's going to tell you about her story and how she became a sleep consultant, and then also give you some tips about getting newborns to sleep. Over to you, Georgina.
Hi, my name is Georgina Winterbank. I'm from the Holistic Sleep Project. I became a I'm obviously a qualified naturopath, and I was doing that for quite a while. And then I had my little one. And during my pregnancy, I was, my mother died. So that for me really became the point that I was like, if I'm going to get through this, I need to have him be a great sleeper. So I'm a terrible, terrible sleeper. I'm a light sleeper. I wake frequently. Sometimes it can take me a long time to get to sleep. I'm just terrible, and particularly in different environments. So if I was in a hotel or different people's houses over the years, I would be a terrible sleeper. So it was really important knowing that about myself. And then when I lost my mother, that I had to have him be a great sleeper. So I put his sleep above all. I got him into a routine really young. I did teach him to self-settle quite young. And in that, I think there's actually a lot of flexibility. So I'll go into routines when we talk about newborns, but I think there's actually a lot of flexibility in knowing when your child is going to sleep, and knowing then that you can get a break, and knowing that you might be able to get a nap as well if you're lucky. So
I guess for you, being a naturopath, you knew how important sleep is to all of your other outcomes, like your mental health and your energy. Absolutely. And all of those kind of things. So
mental health, immunity, all the things, absolutely. And also I wanted a holistic approach because, you know, like you, that's the way I live my life. That's the way the naturopathic, you know, the threads of that are always coming into my life. So being, you know, a sleep consultant wasn't really enough for me. I wanted a holistic approach that approached everything. And the only holistic course that I could find was in the US. So I studied that. It took a year. And that combines the emotional well-being of the child and the mum, the nutritional side of things, physical development and milestones, and the environment of the child, as well as routine. That includes routines as well, but also sleep environment. So that's the course that I did, and so the Holistic Sleep Project was born.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds amazing. So you were going to go through, so obviously we're going to provide your contact details for mums that want to get in touch to get some more information from you. But if you could just run through a few of your tips and things that you've learned along the way about helping newborns get a better sort of sleep, or how you might do a sleep consultant when you would talk to a mum about what they need to do for their bubbles.
Do you want me to chat about pregnancy sleep first?
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I forgot we were doing that.
Yep. All right.
Please do.
So with pregnancy sleep, because I think there's an understanding that we're all just going to sleep, you know, like rubbish when we're pregnant. And that's kind of, you know, true to an extent, because there's a lot of things going on. It might be more, you know, frequent urination, back pain, anxiety, worry about the labour or what's going to happen after, how you're going to handle it. That is true to an extent, but there's a few things that we can do in order to create a great environment so that we can sleep as best as we can with all these changes going on in our body. So the first thing is to finish work kind of 2 to 4 weeks, 4 weeks ideally, before the baby's due. And that's to really give yourself time to prepare. So freeze some meals, put them in the freezer. Really create that sleep space. Decide where your baby's going to sleep. Is the baby going to sleep? You know, are you going to co-sleep and do it safely? And if you do, well, obviously you're going to do it safely, but if you decide to do that option, then follow the rednose.org.au, follow their recommendations. But also you might do a bassinet beside the bed, or you might do a cot in the other room. So you decide what you're comfortable with, and that may change when the baby comes home. But then create that space to be really beautiful and really get nesting and everything into that. You also want to give yourself some time to think about how you're going to birth, and to reduce the anxiety that way. So you might do some meditations. You might decide that you're going to hypnobirth or do calm birth course. Look at some ways that you can reduce your anxiety and worry in that sense. Then I look at a nightly routine. So you might still be working, you know, kind of late-ish into that pregnancy, or you might be looking out for other children. So it's important to give yourself some wind down time, you know, to go and go and go until the end of the day and then stop and expect yourself to sleep. It's just not going to happen. You want to wind down. Some people journal, obviously, before bed, a nice cup of herbal tea. You could do a warm bath, obviously not too hot, or a shower. You might, if you can stay awake, you might do a couple of pages, couple of chapters of a book. You might do a podcast. But I do recommend, that's my third tip, is to really keep the phone out of the room for at least an hour prior. So if you are going to do a podcast, you might do it a bit earlier and then keep that phone away from you. And that's because that phone will interfere with melatonin, which is, we know, is the sleep hormone that encourages sleep. So it's really around lifestyle things when it comes to pregnancy sleep. And then I look at what's really going else. What else is going on? So if you've got back pain, or hip pain, or, you know, sciatica, whatever's going on, I often refer on. So I look at Bowen therapists, acupuncturists, osteopaths, chiros. It's really important to deal with those underlying things as well in order to get as much sleep as we can. And the other thing is to take your supplements and have great nutrition. So obviously, especially in the beginning, we might feel pretty rotten with morning sickness, but we want to kind of cut that off at the pass and make sure we're eating a little bit frequently. Obviously, protein is key. Keeping your blood sugar balanced, but also making sure that you're eating. I know that cravings are a real thing, and that's depending on what that craving is, but making sure that we're having fruit and veg, we're having, you know, protein, lots and lots of water, even though that's often, we don't want to do that because we're already weeing a lot, we're already urinating a lot. And having some quality supplements, which I recommend that you get through your naturopath. So fish oil for the DHA, EPA, probiotic to start.
We've talked a lot about these sort of things in the module content as well. So
good.
But definitely the same stuff that I recommend. So it's awesome.
So that's kind of my fifth tip is to really look at that nutritional side of things, and through this program, and also the supplements, which will support you in energy and also in the nutrients that you need to create a beautiful, healthy baby.
Grow another human.
It takes a lot of work.
Awesome. Fabulous. Thank you so much. There's some really great tips there. And I, like we said at the start, that holistic approach is, you know, the way to go, because there's so many things that can be contributing to upsetting the sleep as well. One of the questions I was going to ask you was, do you look at like the EMFs and those kind of things in houses when you do when you go and do a consultant, when you consult?
I do. Yeah, I look at the sources. So I've often been in homes where the family want to do white noise, but they've got an iPad and it's right next to the cot or the change table and all that kind of thing. So I do recommend, and I'll get into the newborn side of things, but I do recommend white noise for a baby, and obviously talking about the phone with pregnancy, getting that out of the room. Often you'll find a television in a baby's room and even in the mother's room. So I definitely look at that and address that from that perspective, because that is crucial.
And then like the positioning of where the modem might be in the house and those kind of things as well.
A little bit, if I can control that. I've seen modems next to toddlers' beds, which is just, that would be really upsetting that child on many levels, particularly sleep. So if I can control that and make suggestions, absolutely, or make them just aware of it, because so many people aren't aware of those contributing factors.
It's not something that we get told about, or, you know, to be taught to consider either. So that's certainly a thing that I've noticed can be a disruptor.
And often, that's right.
Adults as well as babies too, you know, that can be a thing. So awesome. Okay, thank you so much, and we will look forward to seeing you in the newborn module as well. So
okay, thank you.
Thank you.